City Talk radio show with your host, Anthony Lewis. Today I'm on my own because I'm doing the paper reviews. I've had a few feedback from you guys and some of my friends, and you guys kind of enjoy it. So I think I'm going to make this a regular feature where we go through the local papers and we just see what's going on in our community, what's going on nationally within our capital, and just to find out who's doing what in our society today. I just want to bring up another thing I brought up on Monday. And have any of you guys even figured out who your councillors are in your ward? Like, for instance, I'm in Canning Town North. That's my ward, and I have 3 councillors. And one of my councillor is Anne Easter. And another one is Shaban Mohammed. And to be honest, I forgot the third one, to be honest. But the reason why I bring this up is, as a community, do we actually know who our councillors are? And do we know what our councillors stand for? And do we know what our councillors are actually doing today? And I think that's very important, because the first thing as a community we like to do is complain about, oh, this is going wrong and nobody's changing this and nobody's doing that. But when you turn around and ask, well, do you know who you need to talk to get these things changed? We don't know. So first, we need to educate ourselves on who's controlling our political activities in our borough. And once we know that, and we know who the person is, then maybe we can know how to make our community better. So just want to touch on that. And there's 60 councillors for the whole of Newham, but we have 3 to each ward, which is Stratford, there's 3 in Forest Gate, there's 3 in Canning Town, 3 in Beckton, and so on. So just reminding you people out there, find out who your councillors are. Okay, so today I wanted to start off on this topic. It was a year to the day yesterday when we had the London Bridge terror attacks. I'm sure you remember when the guy was in, 3 terrorists were driven a white van, ran so many people over, and crashed through the gates of Westminster Parliament, and even a police officer was killed with a knife that time. It's actually been a whole year since that happened. To me, it was as good as yesterday. I remember watching the news and thinking, how does a guy in a white van in one of the most secure part of the capital, I mean, this is the Houses of Parliament, this is where our MPs sit at, this is where Prime Ministers and Ministers and Cabinet Ministers and councillors all work to make the democratic process work in this country. This is where we have armed policemen. But yet, 3 men managed to crash through barriers, drive across London Bridge, killing people, and actually wounding a few officers and killing one as well. So yesterday was a year. It was a year since that event happened. The Prime Minister, the London Mayor, Mr. Khan, the Police Commissioner, and many other of our dignitaries in the capital were there to lay wreaths. A quick quote here: the Home Secretary, who attended the memorial service yesterday, a year from the London Bridge attack, says a fresh approach is required to win a technology battle with fanatics. Basically, he's saying that a lot of these terrorists, they use Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, all these different media platforms to send messages to each other, to know when people are going to be at certain places, to know when it's the right time to form these attacks. Over the last year, the authorities have tried to crack down on that, and I think they've actually called our strategy is known as Contest. That's what it's called. So they've come up with something called Contest, where they were incorporating all the lessons learnt from the attacks in 2017 and our responses to them. So ultimately, our approach is about ensuring that there is no safe spaces for terrorists, no safe spaces internationally, no safe spaces in the UK, and no safe spaces online. So basically, they're going through this whole procedure where they're trying to crack down online and stuff. But I'm not going to go into the politics of it all. What I want to talk about is the actual heart and soul of these things. There were actual victims when this happened. And I'm going to read a bit from the Metro. Metro's my favourite paper because it's short and sweet. And like I said, if you want more information on some of these stories, go to more of your more national newspapers for a more in-depth evaluation. But I'm going to read from here. It starts off, the headline says, "We will never forget 1 year on from London Bridge." And across London Bridge as well, they had up in lights, "London United," as in we were united against terrorism, we were united as a community, we were united as a nation. Hundreds of people stood united in silence beside London Bridge yesterday in the memory of those who died on the terrorist attack last June. Friends and relatives, along with members of the emergency services, attended a service at Southwark Cathedral before the minute silence at Southwark Needle Close to the scene of the atrocity. Later, the phrase #London United was projected onto the bridge itself, where the three terrorists began their rampage. Theresa May joined London's Mayor Sadiq Khan and Metropolitan Police Commissioner Christina Dick for the service. A year on from the atrocities which left 8 innocent people dead. The terrorists had driven a van into pedestrians on the bridge before stabbing people enjoying the evening out in the borough. They named some of the names of the people that got killed here, and a floral wreath from the Prime Minister read, "We will never forget those who died, and we will never surrender to hatred and divisions." Mr. Khan's tribute read, "Our city will never forget you. We stand united against terrorism, together in remembering the innocent lives lost." Earlier that day, Dean Andrew told the 700-strong congregation at the cathedral that love is stronger than hate, light is stronger than darkness, and life is stronger than death. It was true a year ago, and it's as true today. Speaking after the service, Miss Dick told Sky News, "We were standing with people who have had their lives turned upside down through injury, through loss, and this is so important to remember just the awful evil that also the amazing act of courage and heroism, of kindness and tenderism and compassion." I think everyone here is united in wanting to stand with those who had been the most affected by what happened. She praised the work of the emergency services, in particular, 2 officers who was injured in the attack, adding, "I'm very proud and I will always be very proud of what they did and the quality of the response, which I just think was first class from start to finish." An olive tree, known as the Tree of Healing, was planted in the cathedral grounds using the compost made from the flowers left on the bridge after the atrocities. Ahead of the service, Miss May recalled the stories of courage which emerged after the attack, including that of one man who died after confronting the terrorist with only one thing he had, and that was a skateboard. She said the range of nationalities was a reflection of our great cosmopolitan capital, whose energy and values bring together people from across the world, and a tragic reminder that the threat from terrorism transcends borders and impacts us all. So, wise and kind and passionate words from the Mayor of London, the Prime Minister and the Police Commissioner. What really, it's been a year on and there's been many attacks, and what really shocked me about this one was how if the Houses of Parliament is not safe, if a terrorist in a van can get through across London Bridge to the gates of Westminster itself and manage to kill people, how safe are we as a community? So there's no answer to that. I'm not looking for an answer, but what I feel is that we need to be more together as a community. We need to, we need to start looking out for each other, because some of the people that died here didn't even live in this country. One thing that really touched me of one of the victims was a Christina Archibald. She was 30 years old and she was from British Columbia, Canada. Now, she died in her fiancé's Tyler Ferguson's arms after being struck by the van. The social worker who lived in The Hague, Holland, suffered multiple crush injuries. Now, let's just take that personally a minute. Can you possibly imagine this, okay? Now, obviously, this was a couple from another country that's come here on holiday, okay? Now, obviously, this is not just a one-night stand thing. You don't plan a holiday with someone you don't know. They probably were together for a few years. They probably planned this trip, and thought, what, let's go to London. Let's see the sights. They're 30. They're in their prime. They probably were in love, okay? Can you imagine seeing your loved ones get hit by a car, run over, the driver drives off, and then you run over to help your partner and they die in your arms? Can you even begin to comprehend the turmoil that you would go through? I mean, this is a year later. There is no way this hasn't affected this guy's mentality, this guy's life. The person he loved died in his arms. And that's what I think we need to get in tune with when we hear terrorism. It's not why they did it and who they did it for and the reasons they did it. It's the impact it has. I was talking about the Belgian attacks on a couple of shows ago, and how, this guy shouted out Allah Akbar and he was radicalised in jails, but yet he killed 2 police officers, he killed a couple of innocent people, and he injured untold more. Forget the reasons why he did it, yeah? When somebody wants to do something on that immense scale, there is not much that you can change that person's mind, okay? When somebody's going to do attacks like this, it's not about religion. It's not that he got conditioned, or it's because something in his childhood wasn't right and has affected his brain, and this is how we choose to get at people back, okay? It's not about religion. It's not about the cult. Yes, it can feed into it. Yes, you can use it in excuse. Yes, you can practice these things. But the essence of the atrocities that are committed is pure evil. Yeah? Can you imagine the one you love dying in your arms in a foreign country when you were going there to be away together? It was probably a trip that they planned for months. Yeah? They were probably in love. And a year later, he still has to deal with the thoughts, the memories. Can you imagine? Like, I can't even begin to imagine what the partner went through, let alone the person who actually died. There was another guy that was hit by a car and fell into the Thames. He wasn't found till how many? 3 days later. Xavier Thomas, age 45, was found 3 days after the attack, which his body was recovered from the Thames. He was a French sales manager and he was visiting London for the weekend. He only popped over for the weekend. He ends up in the Thames. So when these things happen, this is what we've got to. We can't start hating people and, it's this fault or it's the religion and, it's not. It's the individuals that commit these acts. Yeah, it's the person that's to blame, nothing else and no one else. You can't even blame the wives of these men, yeah? Because believe me, if somebody plans to do something like this, no wife, no brother is going to convince them to do otherwise, okay? So it's the mentality of the person, and we've got to remember the victims here, the victims, okay? And these were of all nationalities, all race. And can you imagine the family of this Xavier Thomas not knowing where his body was for 3 days? So I just wanted to give my respects. I wanted to just give my condolences to the family. I hope this would bring us more together, you know, as a community. As a community, it's not religion, it's not race, it's not even language, you know. It's how we treat each other. How we treat each other. And once we can learn to do that, and I'm not preaching here, I'm not trying to give a religious sermon, I'm just trying to say common sense. I'm just trying to general manners, courtesy. When we start respecting each other, doesn't matter the differences. Take the person on their personality. Take the person on what they do, on how they treat people. Yeah, we need to start from these small spaces first, and then start to come together as a community. Because to me, it's the people that died, it's the people that they left behind that has to deal with this for the rest. Do you think, even if this Christine Archibald's boyfriend, Tyler Ferguson, who had his girlfriend die in his arms, even if he managed to get his life back together again, meet somebody else, gets married, have children, do you think he would ever forget this moment? No, he won't. He won't. So I just wanted to give my respects to the victims of June last year, the terror attacks from June last year, and I want my condolences from Newham Harp Charity as well. All my angels and guardians, we've talked about this, we all feel the same way. And it's not the reason why these people do it, and you can go into the psychology of all, but you will never figure it out. The damage is done. So trying to figure it out, you know, yeah, maybe you can go in these prisons or wherever these people are at a future date and try and teach them something. But when somebody makes up their mind to do something like this, there is not much anyone can to talk them out of it. Their mother, their father, no one, okay? When you make up your mind to commit an act like this, it doesn't matter whether it's Buddhism, Christianism, Islam, it doesn't matter. They're going to do it, yeah? And whatever the current trend or reason for doing it at the time is whatever excuse they're going to use. So, once again, I love that, London United. It's to me, it's very tragic. It's sad, but you know what? It's the victims, and we as a community and as people, we need to live for these people now. You know, it doesn't matter whether we didn't know them or not, yeah? But, you know, all of these people, they had lives, they had goals, they had dreams, they had loved ones. And it's been wiped away because, as far as I'm concerned, people just didn't care. They didn't care what they did. I mean, what did they prove by doing this? What happened? Did anything good come out of them committing these acts? I think not. So I'm going to leave it there. If you was there yesterday at this, I'd love to hear your thoughts and your views of it. You know, are you a victim of this? Do you know someone that was involved in this whole process? Because I can't even imagine being a victim of this, let alone knowing someone that might have went through this. I mean, what do you go through? What is the emotion? Yeah. So okay, I'm going to leave that there. But yeah. Condolences to the victims and their families, and hopefully London will beef up their security a bit, because if you can't protect Westminster, where can you protect? So maybe it's on us to be protective of ourselves, but in a compassionate way, you know, in a loving way, you know, in a way that makes people happy. So I'm going to move on to another story that was in the paper. I'm going to get all the bad stuff out of the way, people. You know, I don't want to ruin your week, but I just think some of this stuff that we're going through is important. Now, Tower Hamlets, obviously, is not the borough, but it's a neighbouring borough. We have Newham, we have Tower Hamlets, Hackney, and Dagenham and Redbridge. That kind of surrounds our Newham borough. So, take for instance, I'm living in Canning Town, but literally a couple of yards away is East India Dock Road, and that's Tower Hamlets. So as far as I'm concerned, it's basically the same place. So the reason why I bring this up, a 16-year-old boy, a 16-year-old schoolboy, at 4:10 in the afternoon or evening, whatever it is, was attacked by boys with a hammer and hit several times over the head. This was not midnight, this was not late at night, he wasn't walking the streets at a time that he wasn't supposed to be. This kid was making his way home from school, okay? Now, you can argue whether, you know, he had got in trouble earlier on in the day, maybe he'd started something earlier on in the week with some boys, we don't know. But I'm going to read you the story. The headlines is actually, Hammer Horror as boy aged 16 is forced to flee attacker on a bus. So, a 16-year-old boy was hit several times over the head with a claw hammer before escaping his attackers and getting onto a bus, police said. The schoolboy was waiting at a bus stop when he was viciously assaulted in front of other passengers. He was struck several times over the head before managing to get onto the bus to avoid further blows. Scotland Yard said that the pupil was almost left unconscious after the horrific attack because of blood loss, and he needed 5 stitches to the back of his head. The boy was waiting at a bus stop at Poplar Park, I'm sure some of you guys know where that is, East India Dock Road in Tower Hamlets, when he was confronted. Police today released CCTV footage of the attack in an attempt to identify the suspect, who was seen approaching the victim and raising the hammer. The boy managed to push him off and walk away before the attacker followed him and hit him over the head with the tool. The footage shows how the victim tried to run away but was chased and hit several more times with the hammer. The boy managed to get onto a bus as passengers prevented the assailant from boarding. So he's tried to get on the bus and the guy that was attacking him tried to follow him onto the bus, but the passengers stopped him. So thank you passengers, whoever you are out there. You know, it's good to know that people are not scared to step in no more. When you see someone in need of help, you come and you help. So whoever you guys were, congratulations on that. As the black teenage boy was with short black hair, he was wearing dark trousers and top, black shoes, a black rucksack with grey edgings. This was the attacker. After the victim boarded on the bus, the suspect ran in the direction of Buddock Road. The boy was taken to an East London hospital where he was treated for wounds to the back of his head. Police officer from Tower Hamlets said this was a horrific attack on a schoolboy. The boy had nearly lost consciousness from blood loss as a result. The quick actions of the passenger and the bus driver prevented the boy from further attack, and they were able to contact emergency services promptly. The attack happened at 4:10 p.m. 4:10 p.m. Isn't that just crazy? Like, who's walking around with a hammer at 4:10 in the afternoon? Yeah, and even if you are walking around with a hammer, who? That's basically broad daylight. We're in the summer period here, and we've got to worry about our children being attacked by people now. Oh gosh. Anyway, if anyone, the reason why I'm bringing this up, if anyone's got any information on this, if they know maybe what's going on, listen, this is not grassing, you're not snitching, you're not grassing, yeah? If you know who did this, yeah, please contact Crime Stoppers on 0800 555 111. Listen, I don't know what this was all about. You know, maybe there's history to this attack. Maybe there's something more behind it. But as far as I'm concerned, yeah, in broad daylight, in front of who knows who the passengers were, at the bus stop, on the bus, there's kids there, yeah? Like, even if I wanted to attack someone, which I never would, it's not even in my... that's not even something that I would even think of. But if I was going to attack someone, I'd be conscious about where I was attacking them. I'd be conscious about who was there. If there's kids, this was 4:10 in the afternoon. This is when people were finishing school. Finish school, what, 3:25, 3:35? You know, some of the kids might hang out with their friends before they make their way home. You've got parents picking up their young kids. This is the prime time where kids, and this was at Poplar Park as well. It's a hot sunny day, so you know there's people in the park, kids going past, but this guy didn't care. He wanted to attack this guy with a hammer. It's like I said with the attacks from last year, June. Can you imagine the impact that can have on somebody seeing something like that? Yeah, a child of 3 or 4 seeing that happen. What effect would that have on a small child? And to me, if I want to, I would take that into consideration before attacking someone. Couldn't you wait until he'd gone down a dark alley or something? Wait till the sun go down. Not that I'm condoning that should happen, but the fact these things are happening at 4:10 in the afternoon on a summer's day is scandalous. So you're not snitching. In fact, you probably might be saving some future kid from being traumatised, yeah? Because if he can do this, yeah, in fact, what's he doing with a claw hammer anyway, yeah? Okay, the pictures here, he doesn't look like a labourer. He looks like a fellow school pupil, someone from a school. Maybe it was a rival school. You've got all these postcode killings. How many stabbings has happened just in this borough alone since January this year? You know, every other week you're hearing that some kid's been stabbed, killed, on his way to college. Somebody was eating in a chicken shop, they got stabbed. A boy was walking home from a park, they got stabbed, attacked, people jumping at. What is going on? Okay, and I'm not saying that what's going on is any different from when I was growing up and stuff, but it just seems people are dying now, yeah? Back in my day, it didn't matter how many of my friends were there or how many their friends were there. It was like, okay, the person you had a problem with, there was no knives involved, no weaponry. It was just a one-on-one fist fight. Whoever won, whoever lost, just accepted it. You walked away, and that was that. The beef was squashed. Okay, that's how we used to do it back in the day. We didn't have we didn't have guns, and if you could get hold of a gun, you weren't going to use a gun to prove a point, because to me, using a gun and a knife doesn't prove that you're a man. Yeah. When you use a knife, that proves to me that you ain't man enough to put your fist up, yeah? You know, you put your fist up, you're going to get a hiding. So you're using knives and you're using guns. You use a gun, you don't even have to be anywhere near him, okay? So to me, a 5-year-old could use a knife on a 40-year-old man and still kill someone, yeah? A 5-year-old could shoot a gun and kill a grown adult, yeah? Does that make that 5-year-old a hard nut? Does it make him a gangster? No, it doesn't. It just makes him someone that knows how to shoot a gun, yeah? It doesn't make you hard, okay? Going around stabbing people and that. You a real man? Tell them, put your fist up, mate. If you got a problem with someone, you want to sort it out, put your fist up, sort it that way. Stop killing people. Stop killing our children out there, okay? You're absolutely ridiculous, mate. You go up behind people, you're stabbing people, you're not hard, okay? And people like you're going to get locked up and you're going to stay in jail, and you're probably going to think you're a bad boy in jail, yeah? Well, do it in jail, okay? Don't be hurting our kids on the street. Yeah, well, some of us have got children out there we're trying to protect from idiots like you, okay? So please, yeah? Put your knives in your bin, yeah? If you're a real man and you've got real trouble, go have a fist fight, yeah? There's nothing, well, I'm not advocating fighting with fists, but I tell you what, at least people walk away, yeah? And people might learn a lesson, yeah? Killing people is not helping no one else. It's not helping you out because you're going to jail. It's not helping your mum or your dad out because they're left with all the grief that comes after you've killed someone, and the parents of the person you killed are going to your mum and dad's house, yeah, kicking down their door because of something you did, while you're sitting in jail getting your 3 square meals a day, telling little gangster stories about how you did this and how you did that. Listen, you know what? I don't mean to go into a rant, yeah, but listen, do you know what this decade's about right now? It's about educating yourself up. It's about becoming what you want to be in life. It's about getting your dream job. It's about studying for what you want to be, to live happily ever after, to provide for your family, to provide for yourself. It's not all about stabbing people and getting a reputation. That's like so 1970s, yeah? You're late. Listen, you need to up your fashion up, yeah? If you think going to JD's, buying a brand new trainers and a tracksuit, yeah, and stabbing people is cool, then you're an idiot. You're an idiot, yeah? Get a life. Get a life. 16-year-old and you're attacking him with a hammer. Ridiculous. So, I'm sorry, I don't mean to go into a rant, but it's just annoying. When our day, if you had a problem with someone, you went 1-on-1, you dealt with it. Win, lose or draw, it was dealt with. People did not die. Kids did not die. It doesn't take a gangster or a hard man to shoot someone. It doesn't take a gangster or a hard man to pull out a knife and kill. Anyone can do that. A 6-month-old baby, if you put a knife in his hand and let him play with it, he could accidentally kill someone as well. It doesn't make you hard, okay? In fact, it makes you the opposite, yeah? Right? People that does stuff like this, yeah, are weaklings, are cowards, because you know you put that knife down, you put that gun down, you're going to get an hiding. That's what it is. You know you're going to get an hiding. So you've got to walk around with claw hammers all day long in broad daylight, yeah? Because if you know you haven't got it, that boy probably wouldn't have got on the bus and probably would have gave you a hiding, yeah? Sort your lives out, kids. You've got great opportunity. I'd love to have the opportunities in life that kids have today. When I was growing up, you either did one thing or the other, and if you failed at it, then you were screwed. You were screwed for your... I chose professional football. I took a YTS scheme and got into Millwall on a YTS scheme. But my schooling suffered completely because of it. Because there was no school. You either did football or you did school, yeah? And because I got injured at an early age, I had no qualifications. Yeah, everything I've learnt now, I've had to re-educate myself. Now, if you want to become a footballer, you can go become a footballer. You go to these academies where you still get your schooling, your English lesson, your maths, your science. You take physio courses. In case you don't make it as a professional footballer, you can become a coach. In case you don't make it as a coach, you become a physio. In case you don't make it as a physio, you become a referee. There's these engineering courses you can go on where you get jobs for life, yeah? Listen, you kids have never had it so good, yeah? As long as you start from an early age and you know what you want to be, or you know what you want to do, you can start your own business. Those opportunities wasn't available to people like me when we were growing up. It wasn't available for people like us when we were growing up, yeah? We had to do certain things to survive. But I tell you, one of them wasn't killing people. That wasn't one of them. So, you guys have got such great opportunities. You literally can join these apprentices, these trainee courses, yeah, and get educated, trained for your profession, and earn money, yeah, and earn money and live like how you want to live. But you want to run around hitting people with hammers and stabbing people and going to jail for the rest of your life, getting life sentences at the age of 16, 17. Are you really? Is that what you really want for yourself? I understand we're poor, I understand we're broke, I understand we go out there and we have to do certain things to make ends meet, yeah? But if you're doing that, yeah, be educating yourself on the way so you can get yourself out of it. Listen, I've done the streets, I've been the streets, I am not sitting here on my high horse trying to preach to anyone out here, yeah? I have done things that I regret, I have done things that people would cringe at, yeah, just to survive, okay? But I tell you one thing, yeah, I never killed anyone, yeah, right? And I tell you another stuff, I didn't have the opportunities or the offers of trainees, apprenticeships and stuff that you had now, because if I had, I'd be living a completely different life now. So listen, kids, take your opportunities, yeah? I mean, you can be anything you want to be in this day and age. There is nothing you can't be in this day and age, whether it's a sports personality. Listen, there are rappers out there and songsters and singers, yeah, that made their first tunes in their bedrooms on their apps on their phones. Yeah, they're making up a beat. They're downloading a music studio on their phones and making a beat and promoting their own music, yeah? And they've got their own brands. They're selling, they're distributing, they're promoting themselves. You don't even need a record label or contract label these days to make it as some sort of artist. Sports as well. How many academies there are for sports? Athletics, you know? You've got a talent, you show an interest, yeah? You can make a living out of this stuff now, yeah? Engineering, all the mobile phone and working at Sky Sports and studio and stuff. These are careers. You know, it's easy, like, people are making money just having YouTube channels nowadays, yeah? People are becoming famous by utilising social media, yeah? And you can learn all of these things at a young age. By the time you're 20, you're already an entrepreneur. You're already starting your own business. So why would you want to go out there stabbing someone? What, because he said, your mum? What? Because he said your girlfriend's fat? What? Tell me, really? Really, what is it about? What is it about? So come on, kids. Do you know what I mean? You've got brilliant opportunities. I'd love to have even half the opportunities available to you guys out there when I was growing up, yeah? It was one way or the highway. That's what it was, yeah? You guys have got so much, you can tap into so much resources these days, and it's a shame that we have to read stuff like this in the paper and wonder whether one is going to be our kids next, wonder whether the kid deserved it, wonder if it didn't. We shouldn't be thinking like this. So, yeah, I went into my little rant. Listen, as you get to know me, sometimes when I'm passionate about something and I just can't see the sense in it, yeah, I just have to let it all out. So that's me letting it all out. Kids, come on. Yeah, there is nothing in the world you can't be. So go be it. Go be it. Okay, all right, I'm going to move on from that. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about myself before I read any more newspaper stuff. So, as I've said to many of you guys before, I am the founder of the charity Newham Harp. At first it was Harp, but then I found out there was a group in Southend that had the same name, Harp, as well, and they was helping homeless people as well. So seeing as I'm from Newham, I add Newham to it. So it's Newham Harp, which actually, the Harp actually means Homeless Action Rescue Plan. And basically what we do, we give guidance and support to homeless people on the street. The problem with most charities or this borough over the last 5-6 years is that homeless people don't know where to turn for help. And the places that are known to them is not the help that most are looking for. So for instance, if you had a homeless person that was homeless because of drug addiction, you know, got kicked out, maybe he smoked his house off, or maybe the family kicked him out because they couldn't cope with it no more, and they became homeless through drug addictions. There are certain charities and agencies that help homeless people with drug addiction, okay? So, the problem that's been going on is that somebody who had lost his job and his home that became homeless could be sent to the same place. Okay, he's got no drug history, yeah, he doesn't need that kind of help. He probably needs more help about getting a stable address so he can get back into work, back onto his feet. But he will end up turning up at a place where they only deal with drug issues. And most charities, because they need the clientele, or they need to get the numbers up, so when funding comes back in the year after, they can say, we've got so many people. They will say, yeah, we can help you. Yeah, but I've not got a drug addict. No, that's fine, we can help you. And then they'll keep him there for so long while he's still on the streets, and it could be 6 months later before he actually realise that that charity can't help him. And then he might have to go out and look for itself. So what my charity does, we try to cut out that waiting list. We go out onto the streets. I don't have volunteers, I call them angels and guardians. And angels and guardians is, in most people's terms, are volunteers. they go out and they have a conversation with the homeless in Stratford, wherever they see them. Some of my angels and guardians actually work, have their own lives, but they may be on their way to work and they see a homeless person sitting outside a building begging for money. They would, if they've got 5-10 minutes, they will sit and have a conversation with them. Find out, why are you here? What's your problem? What's your issues? And if that person's willing to talk, and you may find out, well, what it is that, you know, I've actually lost my job and I can start a new job, but I haven't got an address and I haven't got this. We will then guide them into the right charity and get them back on their feet in the specific needs that they need. Okay? So that's what Homeless Action Rescue Plan is all about. Yeah? We go to the homeless. The homeless hasn't got to find us or go. We go to them and we have a conversation with them, and then we'll ask, would you like help? If we can help them, would you like us to try and help you? Then we will make the appointments for them. We provide Oyster cards, because many homeless people don't have Oyster cards or mobile phones. So then if they said, oh, okay, I need to register as a homeless person so I can collect benefits of some sort, then we'll say, okay, we will make the appointment for you. Yeah, and we will come and get you from wherever you're sleeping. We'll give you an Oyster card so we can travel together, yeah, and then you can get registered. And then we may help them, and we have another charity called Off the Grid that works with us as well, who will then help you with the paperwork and forms that you'd have to fill out that will get you benefits or your housing forms or whatever you may need. And it's giving them the immediate help and getting it to the charity that will help them, and then we hand them over to that charity. And they can stay in contact with us in case they feel that charity is not giving them the support they need or they get stuck somewhere. We're still there at the end of the phone, and we give little cheap phones to them as well so they can be contacted. Like the phones we give them, they cost like £10, and even if they could try to sell it, they wouldn't get no more than £2 for it, whatever. And if they lose that cheap phone just once, it ain't no big cost to me, and it's more loss for them. So, but it's a form of contact, you know. So, for instance, you know you've made an appointment for him, or he's in some sort of trouble and needs some help. He has a phone. He has a phone, and it's not an expensive phone where he can get money for it. It's too cheap to sell, so you just keep it. And that's what we provide, Newham Heart. We provide them the means to get to the appointments. We make the appointments for them, then provide them the means to get there and the means to stay in contact with the charity for them to call them, and with them to be able to call us. And plus as well, with most homeless people, they can't sign on because they haven't got an address or a phone number or an email address. We provide email address for them, or we make them up for them, and we let them use our charity number. So if they need to be contacted, they can contact for us, and then we can deliver the message to them if they haven't got a phone or we haven't given a phone yet, because I'm not funded by anyone. I basically fund myself. And to do something like this, you have to be passionate about it. You have to want to do it. You know, you can't do it and expect to get paid or expect people to help you out, because 9 out of 10 times that's not the case. I walk a lot of places, I tell you that. I do a lot of walking, so it's good for my fitness. But yeah, so that's basically what my charity does. But I don't like to pigeonhole what my charity does either, because my charity's been evolving over the last 5-6 months, and we don't just do that, because I want us to be more politically based. Now, when I say that, I mean that as in, my charity is not about putting bandages on problems. It's not about going, oh, you're hungry, here's a bit of bread. Oh, you're filled up now, just for him to be hungry the next day, yeah? It's not about, for me, charity, we want to eradicate each problem one by one so we don't have to return to it again, okay? So, when I say that, me personally, I want to get into a position of power, if you would say that. And when I say power, I don't mean that in an ego sense. I mean as in, if a charity is providing a service but is struggling with funding or surviving as a charity, and I can see that that charity is doing great work, I want to be in a position where I can say to him, okay, you can be allocated funding for the next year for such and such a reason, okay? Now, for that to be the case, I have to be in a position in local authority. I want to be a councillor, could be an MP. I want to get myself in a position where I can actually say, okay, we're going to do this. I don't want to have to ask the councillor, to ask the MP, to ask the minister if we can have this, for then the minister to come back to ask the MP, to ask the councillor, to ask me, are you sure that's the right amount I need? For me to ask them to, and then, believe me, I've been through it, and just to get a meeting sometimes, just to talk about what you want, can take a month, yeah? So that's the reason why I have my own charity, is so I can make the decisions when I need to make it, whenever I want to make it, okay? And the more influential my charity becomes, the more I can influence the community in the help they need immediately. Because my thing is, there's always this long wait. You've got to wait 6 weeks for this form to come back. You've got to wait. No. I just want to cut through all the rubbish and just deal with it. So that's the long-term goal for the charity. But while we're doing that, we're helping the homeless, giving them advice and guidance, we're assisting them, and also we are working with Newham Council, as in all the new charities that I'm finding that are helping the homeless, I am going, investigating, seeing if, number one, the charity is irrelevant, number two, to see if it's a safe environment, number three, to see if it's a consistent service. Not just it pops up on a Monday and then you come back and it ain't there, then it's a Tuesday. If you're a service that even if it's once a week, every Wednesday, you're at this place doing this thing, yeah, and you've done it consistently for at least 6 to 12 months, and you're going to continue doing it, I want that charity to be put on the Newham directory, okay? Now, the Newham directory is an online app where you can go on and find out services, and we would come under the adult social care services. So, take for instance, you're at home now and you're like, oh gosh, my son's brother has a drug habit and he really wants to get better, he needs help, I don't know where to go. You go on the Newham directory and you will find the service that you would need, okay? That's what the Newham directory is. So me and Newham Harp are currently helping to update that directory and add some new charities that are doing some great work out there. And this is why I will be having guests coming in over the coming months, talking about what they do and the relevance of what they do and a bit of their background. So not just so that it's on the directory, so they can come and tell you themselves what they do and the reason why they do it. So my charity's morphed from helping just the homeless to actually working with Newham Council to update their directory. Also now as well, as you can see, I have a radio show now. So with this radio show, I'm hoping to further what Newham Harp's doing and to use this as a platform to bring other services in, to talk about what they do, the good stuff, and not just that as well, members of the community that are doing great work, you know, that are championing things out in the community. I want you guys to come on and sit and talk about these stuff, yeah? I want community, every background, every diversity coming in, yeah, and telling us what we do. What do you do for the community? And letting people know, because then people, once they know, they can access the service. And that's all it's about. It's about knowledge, okay? It's about knowing. If you don't know something, you can't access it, yeah? Once you know it, even if you don't need it, you will know somebody that does, and you'll be able to offer that service to them, okay? So that's what Newham Harp is all about. Now, to become an angel or a guardian, I've kind of found this revolutionary way, because listen, we've all got jobs, 9 to 5s, we've got kids we're looking after, you know, we've got our own personal life that's going on. Some people got sick relatives that they have to look after, yeah? And it's hard sometimes, even when you want to find the time to go and help, do something charitable. So, with Newham Harp, how my volunteering system works is that if you want to come and do some good, we sit down and we have a meeting, a one-off, yeah? Whether it's 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half hour, whatever it takes, yeah? And I will tell you what we do, basically what I've just told you already, and then you'll register with me. So when I say register, it's like, okay, I know your name, I have your contact details, okay, and anything that may be needed to know at that time. Then you won't be called by me to say, oh, I need you for an hour, oh, can you come do it? It doesn't work like that. How it works is this. So, you know, you've dropped your kid to school, you're going off to do shopping, you're going on with your daily life. But as you're walking through the market or down the road, you might see somebody doing a charitable act. You might see a group of people handing out clothing, warm clothing and that, yeah? As a harp angel or guardian, you would go over there and ask them, oh, what are you doing? What's this all about? And find out what they're doing, okay? If you think what they're doing is a really good and a really charitable good work they do, and they do it on a regular basis, okay, that they come down every month, they tell you that they come down every so often and they do this, you declare to them, I'm part of Newham Harp and I'm one of their angels, and would you like your services to be known to the community and be put on the Newham directory, okay? So as a Newham Harp angel, yeah, you'll be seeing charities out there on the street, you will be approaching them and asking them, do you do this on a regular basis? Like, is this something you do all the time? And if they say, yeah, we do it, this and that, because we get so much clothing at such a time, so we like to give it away, then you would ask them, would you like to be considered being put on the directory so people knew you did this, and so people would know when to come to you or where you would be if they wanted warm clothing or if they wanted food or whatever it is they're doing. If they say yes, you take their details, you know what, you just take their telephone number and their name, and then you will let me know about it and I'll take it from there. That's what an angel and a guardian does for my charity, okay? I'm not asking you to take time out your day to come in and do some paperwork or to come in and, you know, check this out or visit someone. What I'm asking you to do is keep your eyes open. That's all. On your everyday journey, when you're out on the street, you're dropping your kids at school, you're doing your shopping, you're going to visit an aunt, if you see a charitable act, something that looks like, hold on, like there's a few people there doing something really good, helping some homeless, go over, ask them what they're doing. And if it's consistent, if it's something that they do on a regular basis, like if they just say to you, oh no, we just had some free stuff, we're just giving it away, that's it, then there's no need to get any details. But if it's something that they say, yeah, we've been doing this every month for the last 6 years, yeah, take their details down. Let them know why you asked them, because you are volunteering, you're an angel. Always say you're an angel. I don't like the word volunteering. I believe when we do stuff like this, we're doing a divine plan. It's a divine act, okay? It's a heavenly act. So you're acting under the grace of your God, our Father, okay? So while you're acting under His grace, you're an angel. It's simple as that. You're an angel. Or you're a guardian. You're doing a charitable act. Okay? You're doing something that Allah, the Father, notice as an act of grace. Notice as an act of kindness. Yeah? Then all you do is get whatever information, an email address, a number and a name, and then you contact me and say, oh, Tone, by the way, while I was at picking up a loaf of bread and a pint of milk, you know, I saw this lady or a couple of old ladies and they were handing out whatever they were handing out to these people. I went over there, I asked them some questions, why they did it. They say they do it every Tuesday at 4 o'clock, they come down, and they've been doing it for years. Then you just announce yourself of who you are, why you're asking them, and would they like to even be considered to go on a directory where people would know that they were doing this and would come and gain their services? Or would you, and if they're not sure, would you like to give your details and then you would get a phone call where you can have a conversation with me about it, okay? And then after that, go about your business. I'll take it from there. I will go meet him. I will tell him everything we're doing. I'll tell him how it all goes down. And now I've got a show on the radio now and on Facebook, Twitter. Please don't forget to like. If you watch these shows, it's really important to me you press like. I don't care if you don't like it. Yeah. From the time you view it, just press like, because we really want this station to really kick off after Eid, and after the Eid break and that, we're going to come back with a vengeance. We're going to come back with so many brilliant ideas. I'm personally going to be making sure there be competitions and stuff on my shows. You guys are going to be, if you guys know your community and start looking into how our community works and who's who, I'll be giving away really good prizes. I'll be giving away really good prizes for you guys to win if you get certain questions or answer right, or if you know certain stuff about this community. So like, this is going to be a platform not just for me, this is a platform for the community, okay? So I hope you totally understood everything I said there. That's Newham Harp. We just want to help. I and my charity and my angels and guardians that work with me, we just want to make Newham a more transparent place, a more kinder place, a better place. And just when we see things are not working, just to go in and fix it. Not to replace it, not to dismantle it, not to tell people that, oh, you're not doing it right. We just want it to make things to be as easy as things really should be in life. So that's my charity, that's Newham Harp. And we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back after the ad breaks.
725742. Al Akbar's, the name to remember.
Yo, bro! Cuzzy's getting married and I need to get hold of a car.
Yar, I know some boys who know SPM car hire. They got the best cars in town. Rolls Royces, Ranges, Maseratis, Aston Martins. Cause you name it, they got it. With the best prices in town.
Sorted! Looks like I'm going to this wedding in a Range then.
They'll drop off the car and pick you up once you're done. Just give them a ring on 01798 397 916 or visit them online spmhire.com or find them on Instagram.
Looking for meat and groceries? Look no further than Waris Food Store in Walthamstow. Visit the store to view our special Ramadan offers. 420 Hull Street, Walthamstow, E17 9AA. Or for free delivery, call us on 0208 521 0000. We have fresh deliveries of poultry and vegetables every day. Waris Food Store in Walthamstow.
Reliance Solicitors fight to protect your legal rights. Our firm offers a wide range of services including immigration, family law, commercial law, civil litigation, personal injury, landlord and tenant disputes and employment law. Visit us at 602A High Road, 7 Kings, Ilford, IG3 8BU or call 0207 183 5439. Reliance Solicitors, where every client matters.
Bridgen Solicitors in Ilford, the name you can trust. We provide services in immigration, family law, landlord and tenant matters, commercial leases and civil litigation. We also deal in personal injury claim and road traffic accidents. Call us on 0203 475 4545. Visit us at 170 Cranbrook Road, Ilford, IG1 4LX.
Ramadan FM 2018,
the voice of British Muslims.
Atlantic Distributions. Whether it is frozen fish, marinated Lahori masala fish, or lamb offals, we have them available at very competitive prices. We are wholesale suppliers to restaurants, butchers and caterers. Visit us at 51 to 53 Upton Lane, London, E7 9PA. contact us on 07415 474 185.
Usman needs the adhesive to work. If not, his day will be a disaster. So, Usman, if you really need something to bond, grab a tube of CT1 from your local stockist. An incredibly powerful sealant and construction adhesive that's fast, flexible and strong. It can be used anywhere, even underwater. For more info, ct1limited.com or follow us on Facebook or ring us on 0208 555 1448.
In an age of technological advancement, mass communication and social media, having the right website and app can be the difference that your business needs. AppSite Tech are here to take your business to the next level. No matter how simple or how sophisticated your requirements are, our technicians will work with you to create a bespoke website and app for your organisation. Call us now on 07538081212 or visit appsitetech.co.uk and book your free consultation now.
Amigos, the signature name when it comes to burgers and shakes. Our succulent burgers are prepared in front of you while you wait. Whether you go for the 6-ounce Mexican or the 10-ounce Texan, or you decide to go for our messy fries or buffalo wings, one thing you're guaranteed is quality. We've also got a range of desserts including our trademark shakes in all your favourite flavours. We're based at 400 Cranbrook Road in Gants Hill, so come down to dine in or order in on Uber Eats or Just Eat. Amigos, hats off to great burgers.
Ramadan FM 2018.
The voice of British Muslims.
Hey, तैनू 20 बारी आके आता क्रिकेट ना खेलिया कर तो फिर विंडो पंच हो रही है.
Don't worry, Dad. Our windows need changing anyway.
हाँ तो पैसे तू दे से ना.
Nah, don't worry, Dad. UK Windows will sort it out.
UK Window? Oh, कौन है ना?
They're the best double glazing company about. They do windows, patios, French doors, sliding doors, UPVC, aluminium, you name it, they've got it. We can go see them at 51 to 53 Upton Lane, Forest Gate E79PA, or call them at 07984 440 093 or visit ukwindowslondon.co.uk.
वाह जी वाह, ये तो कमाल है यार. UK Windows
Zindabad.
Thinking about selling or letting your home? With Maxwell Estates, you don't need to look any further. Well established with over 15 years of experience, Maxwell Estates are specialists in residential sales and lettings. We manage over 200 properties in and around Northwest London, keeping our landlords and tenants updated with all the latest laws and legislations. Based in Edgware, our experienced specialist negotiators always ensure we maximise the full potential of your property. Call us now on 0208 952 0808 for a free no obligation quotation, or visit our website www.maxwellestates.co.uk for further information. Maxwell Estates, the name you can trust.
With over 25 years experience in the East London area, there's no better firm to rely on than Cameron Adams Century 21 when it comes to properties. Be it lettings, property management or sales, we can assist you to ensure you get the most out of your property. Contact us on 0208 558 2000 for a free, no obligation valuation and watch us do what we do best.
Grab your taste of luxury at Pink's Boutique.
Okay, welcome back. Okay, so we're in the last half hour now, and I am going to pick things up a bit on a bit of a lighter note. It's been a bit doomy and gloomy, isn't it, really? And I don't want to leave us on that kind of note. So, hey, World Cup starting soon. World Cup 2018, and we're in Russia. So, there's a lot of debate going on about the England. I mean, I think we've got some players out there that have not even won a cap for England yet. Some of them's only played a couple of games. There's a lot of hype going on about this is the golden generation, and they beat Nigeria 2-1. We know the Arsenal player, is it Alex Iwobi, who played for Nigeria. He was on the Nigerian team. And there was a little bit of criticism to Dele Alli because he refused to play for Nigeria to play for England. So he was booed every time he kicked the ball. But I don't know how much he's more Nigerian than he is English or not. So that's neither here or there. He chose England. That's who he wants to play for. And I find with most football players nowadays, most players have got a choice of two nationalities. I remember as I was growing up, there was Ryan Giggs, who could play for Wales or play for England. And at the time, he chose to play for Wales. Now, obviously, I don't know the reason for his personal choice for that, but to me, I would have thought it's a lot easier to get into a Welsh team in every game than it is an England team. And two, at the time when he chose him, he didn't become the player, the great player that he did become. So I noticed a lot of professional footballers pick the nationality of the team that they most likely would get picked for. So, for instance, I'm sure there's a few players in the Nigerian team that had an opportunity to play for England or play for Nigeria. But depending on the quality of player that you believe you are, would you get into an England team? Or would you more easily get into a Nigerian team? And plus, what you've got to take in consideration as well, the English media loves to destroy their players, loves to pick them apart. I was talking about Raheem Sterling the other day, who's got the gun tattoo on his calf, and he literally got slaughtered about it, and about, oh, why has he got a gun on his leg? You know, what's the message he's sending to the young kids of today? He's a bad role model and that. Listen, we only play him to play football. We play him to go out and score goals. We play him to go out and entertain us. We don't pay him to put tattoos that we like on his legs. Is it in good taste or not? That's a personal opinion. But at the end of the day, he's a young lad. He's considered one of the top footballers in this country. I mean, the wages some of these players are on anyway. I mean, some of them, like the minimum is like 50 to 60 grand. Some of them on 100 grand. I think Pogba's nearly on almost 180 grand a week. A week. Some of us don't get that over the course of a lifetime, let alone a week. So, can you imagine if you was a young football player, okay? You know, you're just broken through. Let's take Raheem Sterling, for instance, yeah? He started off in Liverpool's youth team, and he worked his way through. And from the time he started playing, he was looked at as Liverpool's next star, okay? He was looked at Liverpool's next star. So he's had a lot of attention on him since then. Then he gets picked as the youngest Liverpool youth team player to ever play for Liverpool, and he gets a contract of something like 80 grand a week. Now, come on, you just turned 18, you get a contract 80 grand a week. You're a kid. You're going to party, you're going to go see girls, and don't forget as well, as a footballer, you cannot drink or take drugs, okay? So you've got to find every other pleasure without using drugs or alcohol. That's pretty hard. That's pretty hard. So all that falls into that is sex, rock and roll, I suppose, but without the drugs. So from a very early age, these young players are put under a lot of pressure. They're given a lot of money. They buy fast and expensive cars. By the time they're 20, 22 years old, there isn't much they can do with their money. Because I've noticed the more money you get and the more famous you become, the less you have to spend. Yeah? The less you have to spend. You get given more stuff. People, when they see you come to a restaurant, they don't want you to pay for stuff. I remember when Manchester United won the Champions League, the Champions League Cup, and they were given the keys to Manchester. Now, when you give the keys to the city, yeah, that basically means you get Every restaurant you go into, you don't pay for. You can go into clubs for free. You can go into the hotel. They were given the keys to the city, which meant everything was free. You're sitting on 400 grand, 500 grand in your bank account, and you don't have to spend it. Just the interest alone. You could live on the interest alone. So can you imagine having that sort of money from the age of 18 onwards, yeah? And you can't use drug and alcohol because you're a footballer. You can't do that, yeah? So you're spending your money on all these things. So you're going to make mistakes. As a kid, you're going to make mistakes, yeah? And the spotlight is always on you as well. The media's following about. They're jumping out of bushes to get pictures of you. Fans are stopping you for autographs and stuff. And little kids, it can be a lot of pressure. So when these players get picked for England and they go out there, they beat Nigeria 2-1. They beat Nigeria 2-1. But yet, Dele Alli got slaughtered because he underperformed. All the other players, they didn't do as much. And this and that. How they're going to win the... You know what? Get off their backs, okay? Let them go out. Let them enjoy themselves, okay? They've not even kicked a ball yet. And the media is all over them. To me... The World Cup comes around once every 4 years, okay? The World Cup comes around once every 4 years. This is a chance to get to see all the top players. You get to see your Messis, your Cristiano Ronaldos, yeah? You get to see Kane score a couple of goals, yeah? You get to see Suarez. Neymar, he was out injured for a year. He come back, he scored a fantastic goal against Croatia. And if you haven't seen the goal yet, I beg you, go onto YouTube or whatever social media you need to get on and type in Neymar's goal, yeah? It was a classic, yeah? This is a time where we all should be getting football fever. We should all be supporting our national teams, or, you know, even if you're not a football fan, it's still fun, yeah? But lay off our English players, because it's only England that seems to do this. You go to Italy, Germany, France, all the other countries, yeah, they are backing their team 100%, yeah? It doesn't matter if Pogba came out of a brothel 6 a.m, yeah? When it comes to match game, yeah, they are supporting their players. And that's why... When you see France win the World Cup, they go win the European Cup a couple of years later. When Spain wins it, they win the World Cup, then they go win the European Cup. Germany is always in a final or a semi-final, yeah? I'll tell you why. Because the whole country supports their team when they're out there. The whole country supports their team when they're out there. You do not get newspapers putting down their top players. Oh, he only scored 2 goals. He should have scored an hat-trick. That's the level of criticism we give our players. It's like we actively put these players down. And now that we've got these younger players, I mean, Jordan Pickford, like, this would be his first ever tournament. I think he's only played so many games for England. He hasn't played more than 10 games for England, I don't think. And he's been thrust into a World Cup tournament. Why would you want to put him under pressure? Why would you want to add... So he's excited. He's excited, and he's probably nervous as well. And he knows that the media will slaughter him if he makes a mistake. That's enough pressure as it is. So we don't need to start picking out these players. Let's just enjoy the World Cup this year, okay? Let's enjoy it. Newspapers, leave them alone, yeah? When they come back, wait for them to finish first and come back home before you start putting the nails in their coffins and stuff, because I think it's really unfair. And coming from a footballing background, I know the pressures that these players get put under before they even kick a ball. So anyway, England won 2-1, even though the way the papers talked about it, you would have thought they had lost the way they were talking about it. But they said Jordan Pickford, that's the New England goalkeeper, because they left James Hart behind, didn't they? James Hart was the #1 goalkeeper for years, but he had a horrid time at West Ham, really horrid. And then he started to get a little bit better towards the end, but then he fluffed again. But so Jordan's gone, Butland's gone, and Pope's gone. Pope is the Burnley goalkeeper, Jordan Pickford's Everton goalkeeper, and Butland's Stokes goalkeeper. And Stokes been relegated, so it goes to show how lack of faith they had in Joe Hart. But anyway, it says here, Jordan Pickford hardly had a breakthrough season at Everton, picking the ball out of his net 58 times in the league, but he's at least played every game, unlike Joe Hart. You see what I mean? That's just typical newspaper. Look, I'm going to read that again, yeah? So this is the attitude that our newspapers have towards our goalkeepers, okay? Towards our England footballers, all right? So, and this first bit is Jord the man, okay? So they're saying he's the man, all right? Jordan Pickford hardly had a breakthrough season at Everton. So they're saying he didn't really have a good season at Everton. So straight away, you're putting him down. Yeah, you didn't have a good season at Everton, yeah? You picked the ball out of the net 58 times, yeah? All right? I don't think you need to remind him of that. I think he knows how many balls went into his net last season. But yet the newspaper feels the need to highlight that, yeah? Their goalkeeper that they want to win the World Cup. Anyway, but he's at least played every game, unlike Joe Hart, brackets. Even though Joe Hart has not been picked, that he's not even in Russia, the papers are still having a go at him, and he's not even there. The papers are having a go at Joe Hart, and he's not even been picked. This is the mentality of our papers towards England footballers, okay? Didn't get relegated. Hello, Jack Butland. That's the other England goalkeeper that was picked, yeah? Because their team got relegated. So now they're taking a mick out of the other goalkeeper. So let's just get this right. They've taken a mick out of our number one goalkeeper. They've taken a mick at the goalkeeper that didn't get picked, our former number one goalkeeper. And now they're having a pop at our number two goalkeeper. Yeah? Great support, England. You really know how to support your national team, don't you? Oh, dear, oh, dear. And at 24... he's the future. Southgate called him to play against Nigeria. Seems to indicate his thinking for the World Cup opener against Tunisia. So, in a paragraph, literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 lines, about that big, yeah, the paper has managed to criticise 1, 2, 3 goalkeepers. 3 goalkeepers, and one of the goalkeepers are not even there. He's not even there. And the one goalkeeper that did the best, Pope, for Burnley, yeah, they didn't even mention him. They didn't even say how well he's done. Yeah? That is the mentality of our papers against... And then they expect them to go out and beat Brazil, and beat England, and beat Germany, and beat all these other top nations. To be honest, if I was the England team, I wouldn't even pick up a newspaper, to be honest. You're going to get nothing out of it. Nothing out of it. All you're going to get is negativity, and then they've got the cheek to criticise the team when they win against Nigeria. When they win against Nigeria, they get criticised. Like we were supposed to go out there and beat them 7-0 or something. Listen, a lot of these smaller teams, yeah, a lot of these teams that haven't got individual players, yeah, they are some of the better teams in these World Cup tournaments. Because when you've got the teams like Argentina and that, everybody's depending on Messi, or Messi feels the pressure that he has to do something special. So instead of him passing to somebody, he would want to try and run around everyone and score that brilliant goal, yeah? And when a better option might have been to have passed to a lesser known player where he could have scored. A lot of teams, they've got individual players, yeah? But when they click all together, yes, it's magical. When you see Argentina click together as a team with Aguero and all the other great players that play for Argentina, they are beautiful. But when they're not playing together, it's an individual team. Teams like Nigeria, the Tunisias you're going to see, Morocco, Panama, Costa Rica, all the smaller teams, they haven't got that big superstar name. So they all have to work hard for each other. And those are some of the hardest teams to break down. It's not Belgium that England are worried about. It's the Panamas, yeah? Because if you haven't scored 2 or 3 goals in the first 5 minutes, the papers are going to slaughter you. The nerve starts to set in. Then the confidence of the other team said, okay, England hasn't scored a goal against us yet. Argentina hasn't scored a goal against us yet. We're holding our own. Then they start to take chances. And that's when some of the top teams get beat, okay? So, I mean, teams like Holland didn't even qualify for the World Cup. Italy didn't even qualify for the World Cup, okay? Because some of the smaller teams, they're sussing out how to play football. And they're finding reason it's a team game, okay? So, so that's how they're treating the goalkeepers. I think Harry Kane, hopefully he's safe from criticism because he's supposed to be the next thing since sliced bread at the minute. But let's have a read. Kane won't always be able to deliver. Straight away, the headline, they're saying our number 1 goal scorer, they're already saying he ain't always going to be able to deliver. So they're already expecting him to go games without scoring. You know, thanks again, media, for giving our players the boost they need. Harry Kane underlines why he is both captain and goal scorer in chief. But England must take some of the burden of responsibility for getting goals from his admittedly broad shoulders. Jamie Vardy, Jesse Lingard, Danny Welbeck, Marcus Rashford have all scored only once each in the last year, while arguably England's most creative influence is Raheem Sterling, last netted in 2015. So basically they're saying that Raheem Sterling hasn't scored for the last 3 years, yeah? And all these other players have only scored 1 goal in the last year, like, so you can't expect Harry Kane to... Negativity. I don't know what's wrong with this media, honestly. I'll actually pick this football bit to make it a bit more, you know, fun and that. And even in the paper, I might stop reading papers, to be honest, because it's absolutely ridiculous. But Neymar, yeah, I was talking to you about Neymar scoring that fantastic goal. Neymar scoring a stunning individual goal yesterday in his... Oh, by the way, this is Monday's paper, okay? So they're talking about Sunday, so don't worry about that, yeah? In his first appearance since fracturing his... I'm not even going to say that, I can't even pronounce that, but he got an injury and he was out for a year. And this was his first game back for Brazil in that year. And he came back and scored a stunner. So as Brazil beat Croatia 2-0 at Anfield, and Robert Firmino hit the second as well. So Firmino has been picked for the World Cup as well. He's out there. How do you think he's going to do? They've had a great season. I'm sure they would have loved to pick up the Champions League, but they've qualified for the Champions League for next season. And I know Brazil, as a team, going to go out there and enjoy it. They enjoy their football. When Brazil go, everybody loves watching Brazil. It doesn't matter what nationality you are. I think everybody's second team is probably Brazil. You know? Like, who doesn't love watching Neymar playing football? You know? Who doesn't watching Fred, who's been moved to Manchester United now? Manchester United bought the midfield Brazilian, Fred. I mean, do you remember the old Brazilian players like Ronaldinho and Robinho and Ronaldo and Rivinho and Zico? Oh, you can go on forever. And I'm not even talking about Pele's and that. Brazil, they've got a certain way of playing football and it's beautiful. It is a beautiful way of playing football. But the problem with Brazil, when they get beat, they get stuffed. I never forget Germany beating them like 7-1. I think it was the semi-finals or the quarter-finals of the World Cup. Was it the last World Cup? I think so. They got beat 7-1. When they're not defensively, they're not sound. Going forward, they're beautiful, but defensively, they're not sound. I'm not sure. I fancy maybe... Germany's definitely going to be in the semi-final. It's definitely going to be Germany. Spain will be there, about there somewhere. I don't know. Well, who do you think? One of the smaller teams that might get to the quarterfinals or out of their group stage? That'd be interesting. That would be. But yeah, I'm quite looking forward to the World Cup. the thing is though, and I know now I suppose now I'm sort of buying into what the papers say now, because the thing I find with England, and it's because of the criticisms they get, they'll play in the qualifiers, they'll go through the qualifiers, they won't lose a match, they'll break all these records, they beat everybody, 3-0, 4-0 and that, but then when they get to the World Cup, it's like they freeze. I mean, the last European Championship, if FIFA had gone into the England changing rooms and said to the England, right, listen, you can pick any team you want to play against, in this next round. You've got Germany, you've got Spain, you've got France, you've got all these big teams, you've got Holland, Who would you want to play so you can get through to the next round? They would have picked Iceland, wouldn't they? They would have picked Iceland. And that's who exactly they got. They got Iceland, Iceland. And they lost. They didn't lose 1-0 by accident. They lost by some, I think, was it 3-1 or something they lost? Against Iceland. These players that are on 200 grand a week, 100 grand a week, got stage fright in the next round of the Euro Championships. And then there was the year before where Beckham missed a penalty. I think that was 2002 or 6, I'm not sure. And England always seem to go out on penalties, don't they? They always miss a penalty. And with England, it's always unlucky. Oh, wasn't it unlucky? Oh, we should have done this, we should have done that. And with me now with England, like, don't get me wrong, I'll support England 100%. But it's like now, it's like I don't want to get my hopes up anymore. Because so many times we go, I remember it was the golden era when Gerrard and Lampard and Rooney, and do you remember when England beat Germany 5-1 and Michael Owen, scored an hat-trick or something? Like, they were the golden era then, and then they go to a tournament and they just about scrape out of their groups. They'll lose the first game, draw the second game, then they're under pressure to win the last game. Sometimes they get through, sometimes they don't. I think there was one World Cup where they didn't even get out of their group. So, listen, they do brilliantly in qualifiers, They beat everyone when it comes to qualifiers. I think they went through the last qualifiers without actually losing the match, But then they get to the tournament and they don't play. And maybe that's the pressure of the media that comes on them, because already they're out there, they're warming up games, and already Kane won't be able to deliver. Pickford let in 58 goals already, and Jack Butlin got relegated. It's all negative. Dele Alli got booed because he should have played for Nigeria and that. But when you read about Brazil, it's Neymar back after you. What a stunning goal, And when they're talking about Argentina, oh, yes, we got Messi. Even with Morocco, like, I'm sure it would have been a big blow, them losing to Mo Salas. I'm sure that's a big blow to them. But you don't hear the negativity about how Morocco are not going to qualify or not going to get out of their group. They're positive, mate. They're sure don't worry, by the time Salah's come back, we'll have a second round match to be playing. And that's the mentality I think this country needs to take on with their sports, with their people, and also in their community. I mean, it all comes back again to community and us, being a bit more bonded and a bit more closer, and just saying hi to someone, just giving a good, just being nice about someone. It doesn't cost anything. It really doesn't. It doesn't cost. And if you can't be positive, then don't say nothing. It's simple. But England are out there. They're preparing for the World Cup. It kicks off on, the 18th of June. Well, that's when England play their first game, on the 18th of June. We're in the 6th right now, so it kicks off on the 18th of June. And who do you think is going to get out of their group? You've got Tunisia, Panama, and Belgians in there as well. And apart from Benteke, who plays at Crystal Palace, who I don't know why they've picked him. They've got Hazard, Fellaini, You know, they've got a few good players. Is it the Tottenham defender? I forgot his name. They've got some quality players in there, and when they're ready to play, like Hazard could win a game just by herself. So England need to win their first couple of games before they get to Belgium. They want to know that they've qualified before they get there, because Belgium is not going to be a no pushover. And as I've just explained to you, when England gets to tournaments, they whether it's because of the media attention, they freeze. They absolutely freeze. Gareth Bale might be coming back to England again. They say Man United is one of the favourites to buy him. But you know what? Once you played at Madrid, they're waiting for a new manager, because Zinedine Zidane was sacked, wasn't he? No, he resigned. Zinedine Zidane resigned as Real Madrid's manager. Despite winning the Champions League, they had a really poor season last year. I think they finished third. Atletico Madrid finished higher than them, and to them, that's an insult. Atletico Madrid to Real Madrid are the little peasants. Yeah, they're the little poor people that they should bow down to Real Madrid, because Real Madrid is more of a fascist club. And when I say fascist, I mean it was supported by the royalty, by the Franco regime, you know, back when in the 70s and that. Real Madrid is about the riches, as you can tell with the money, with the players they buy. And the fans there, they have a big say in who gets brought to the club. You know, if they say they want someone to come to the club, the fans have a big say. And they have to vote their presidents of the football club in at Real Madrid. And one of the way they like to win their vote, they promise them players. So, for instance, the last that I know of was when Cristiano Ronaldo left Manchester United and went to Real Madrid, and it was something like 90 odd million or something it was. And it was the president saying, if you vote me in, I will get Cristiano Ronaldo, no matter how much it costs, to come and play for Real Madrid. Yeah, so the fans voted him in, and they brought in Cristiano Ronaldo. That's kind of how it works in the hierarchy of Real Madrid. And plus, it's a royal side, you know, it's about the crown with them, where Atletico Madrid is the workers team, you know. It's the same with Inter Milan and AC Milan. Inter Milan was all the immigrants from Argentina and South America that came and worked in Italy, the foreigners that worked in Italy. And AC Milan was the official Italians that played football. So they were looked at the royalty, they were looked at the top side, while Inter Milan was just like, oh, they're just the ones we're going to beat every now and again. And that's how that club grow together, because they share the same ground. Same with Manchester United and Manchester City, Liverpool and Everton. You know, one side has all the success, the other side struggles. And even Sheffield Wednesday and Sheffield United. There was one time when Sheffield Wednesday were a top team, and Sheffield United were the noisy neighbours, you know. So there's a lot of rivalry in football. And in London, you've got so much. You've got Fulham, Chelsea, you've got Queen's Park Rangers, you've got West Ham, you've got Arsenal, you've got Tottenham, you've got Brentwood, you've got Barnet, there's so many London teams as well. But the big rivalry is West Ham, Chelsea, Arsenal and Tottenham. Arsenal and Tottenham is like the biggest, it's the North London rivalry. Then you've got Chelsea. Technically, it's Chelsea and Fulham, and Queen's Park Rangers is the main rivalry between them, because they're all West London. So it's divided up into that, and it's knowing who's who. But they've all got their own story, these clubs. They've all got their own stories and how they were founded. And Manchester United actually used to be called Newton Heath. They were called Newton Heath before they were actually called Manchester United. And, you know, and I bet you guys don't know who the oldest club in England is. If anyone can tell me on Friday who the oldest club in England live, I'll find a nice little prize to give you. I'll think of something. But if anyone phones, texts, tweets, who is the old... And oh, gosh, you're going to Google it, ain't you? You're just going to Google it. You're going to Google it. Okay, well, you know what? But still, the first one to get it in and Google it and send it in the right answer, the correct answer, and who the current manager is of the oldest team in the world right now, who has got ties to this area as well. He used to play for a team in this area. So, yeah, that should give you a clue. Okay, listen, it has been fun yet again. I hope I touched you on some of the topics that I've said. The time is now 2:55, and it's goodbye from me, Anthony Lewis. Goodbye from Ewan Harp, and we'll see you Friday, where I will have Cynthia Lawson with me again, and we'll be talking a bit more about the local stuff that's going on in our community over the weekend. So, listen, you guys, it's a nice day out there. Enjoy yourself, have fun, and be nice to people today.
Letting your home with Maxwell.